And now we're recording. So welcome to Late Night Wormhole.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, no problem. We haven't done a podcast in a while. I have some fun videos I want to show you, but first I have to set the mood.
Gotcha.
People aren't used to this. It's never this bright in my videos ever.
It's really bright. I'm like, whoa, holy.
We could do, why isn't it working? Should be working, but it's not working. God damn it, all to hell.
Yeah.
I'm going to get this to work.
I've never seen any podcast from you in a video this bright.
There we go.
Oh, there we go. Neat.
Yeah. So the app is horribly rated. What's it called? The Wiz app, which goes with my LED lights in the basement. This is relax. That's that setting. We have romance, if you want to get gay about it. And then I usually put it on
mad homo.
Yeah. I feel gayer already. I usually put it on party. That way it changes colors slowly in the background.
Does it strobe? Like,
yeah, if you look, see? These lights change colors too. The ones in front of you.
Wow, you fancy.
Yeah, I have a lot of color changing lights.
God.
It's all about the vibe. I'm really just trying to set this place up for when I take mushrooms. That's really what it's all about.
Yeah. Get some blacklight posters and all that fun shit.
So yeah, one of the fun videos we have to explore. Oh, there we go. It's already right there. Nope, didn't pull it up. We're just looking at porn together.
Yeah. Oh, all right. Cool.
That's what this podcast is now.
Are they like bloopers? Because those are really fun to talk about.
No, this one's way better. I talk about it on, I think, episode 2, which I recorded forever ago with Clifford and my brother Ryan.
Oh, I think. Wait, didn't you guys used to do like some sort of like review on like old, like super old porn?
No, we would do commentary. I'm way too high. We would do commentary on like bad porn. So we do.
Gotcha.
We do like Escape from Pleasure Planet, which is an HBO porn, and then I just watched this chick get. I'll be just taken out of her ass. I need to get off this page. So we had watched that, and then we watched Bat FXX, which is like a Batman parody porn, which was also pretty weird.
Was it animated or
animated?
Animated. That's what I meant to say.
Nope. It was real. It was actually really cool because when he was banging Poison Ivy, he like pulls out and she's like blowing him or whatever. He goes to come on her chest and he's like, "Oh, dropping bat loads," in like the bat voice. It's pretty funny, actually.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I couldn't imagine actually coming to it, but it's pretty funny.
But you know, people do.
Yeah. Well,
like, you know that there's plenty of people that are watching it. It's like the Family Guy, you know.
What, the Family Guy porn stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was. It's weird that stuff will pop up on the side of like Pornhub as an ad. Like you'll see shit for like Family Guy porn. It's like, that's not licensed. Like, how is that even legal? Like,
yeah.
But anyway, this porn is weird to think of that people come to, but they do. It's also weird that there's like a granny sex ad on the bottom there. All right, I gotta share the screen for the audience so they can watch us watch porn. You ready?
Yes.
Oh, an ad. Can't wait to edit this. This is always a bitch because I have to like censor out.
So
half the
we're in
screen.
a doctor's office?
Oh yeah. You might need to hear me. I don't know her, but I have a friend who immediately was like, "Oh, that's blah blah blah." Like he knew the porn star right off the bat.
Come in.
Come in. I think the doctor kind of makes his decision when to come in.
It was weird because when I heard the knock, I literally looked at the wall thinking someone was knocking on the basement wall. A little too quiet, maybe.
I haven't started my period.
This month?
I've never had a period ever.
You're 19 years old.
Right.
You've never had your period.
Never?
That is interesting. You should have started that.
Oh, this gets. Did you read the title of this yet?
No.
Oh, perfect. That's fine.
All right, let's go ahead and take a look.
And now it doesn't say it anywhere. Oh no, it does. It says at the bottom, but.
Turn this way, please.
We'll just keep it that way. Get rid of that shit so that I have less censoring to do later. God damn it.
Back a little, please.
I like the spooky sounds.
It's basically a horror comedy, is what this is, but it's also a porn.
This is most unusual.
Well, what is it? What do you see down there?
Well, that's just it, Tanner. I don't see anything.
What do you mean you don't see anything?
Well, Tanner, I mean, I see your urethra. That's clearly right there. That's where you pee out of, correct?
Yeah, I pee out.
What the fuck?
Pee comes
What?
out of there somewhere.
Yeah, but you don't have a labia. You don't have labia. You don't have a clitoris. There's nothing down here. Tanner, you don't have a vagina.
What? What do you
Wait,
mean I don't
what?
have a vagina?
Well, Tanner, there's nothing here but a pee hole. I'm going to need to do an extensive check on you.
This is by far my
Yeah, do whatever it takes.
favorite video of
Can you
all time.
fix it?
Because you don't even understand how
What happened
ridiculous
to
this
it?
is about to get.
I need answers, doctor.
I'm actually kind
Tanner,
of
just
scared.
relax. We're going to have to check.
This is like of my favorite horror movies from the 80s, where it just, every time something happens, like, this can't get any weirder. And it just continuously
Yeah,
gets weirder
yeah.
and weirder. This just never stops ramping up. It just gets worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, we're focused
Yeah,
on your
let's fully
vagina
check
right
you
now,
out
but
because-
like, let me just get you
breasts are normal.
completely naked.
This is still all about the vagina. Don't get that wrong.
Go back. Take some deep breaths.
You'll see. She got some hungry boobs.
That is fucking weird.
Oh, it gets weirder.
Go ahead and check your lymph system.
Your limb system. Let's go ahead and check your limb system.
A little.
I never caught that.
Lymph nodes are fine.
It's not even mean.
Yeah, your armpits seem pretty
Check your throat.
intact.
He's like literally like checking things that
Don't
doctors
check your
never look
tongue.
at.
Feels good.
In a normal
Size.
doctor porn, this is where he'd be like, let's have to check your throat, and that's when he puts his
Yeah.
dick in.
Yeah.
Not this one. This one's different. This is sophisticated porn.
It's just weird because I feel like you'd be focused on fixing.
What's this?
The vagina problem. He's about to fix it.
What is what, doctor?
Well, Tanner,
Your hair's
there's
too
some kind
long.
of growth back on the back of your neck.
What? What do you mean a growth?
What the? Oh my god.
Tanner, I think I found your vagina.
What?
The
Your
close-ups.
vagina's on the back of your neck.
I love the close-ups.
Tanner, tell me if you can feel this.
Hang on. I'm gonna see if I can
Oh my.
just share the
God.
audio so that I don't have to do as much editing later. Share computer sound. Perfect. Oh, looks like it's still gonna play the video. Okay, so I can't just share the sound. That's fine. Is what it is. I just have to edit more.
Gotcha.
I can't feel
Where do you find this shit?
So
This?
with this specific clip, Clifford found this. It popped up. He went to go jerk off one day, and he said it was like on the Pornhub main page. Like it was just like in like whatever videos popped up.
Was it like suggested for you?
I don't know. He said, I think, because I don't really use Pornhub, but he said it was just on like the main page. So maybe it was suggested, or maybe I know like sometimes they just have like featured videos or whatever. I'm not entirely sure what it was, but he saw it and he was like, "Oh my god, the name!" Because the name is called "There's a Vagina on Your Neck," and so he was like, I have to watch this." So he saved it intentionally because we were doing the other podcast at the time,
Mhm.
and he was like, "We have to watch this." And then we never did. And then we recorded it before I started this podcast, and I used that recording as episode 2 on this.
I mean, I get the suggested thing, like, you know, you should check this out. But shouldn't it be labeled as like, this is really funny?
Maybe.
Like,
Although-
maybe not jerk off to it, but like, this is kind of
Oh, you
funny.
go ahead and jerk off to it.
I would.
You'll see. It gets worse. Again, you haven't even gotten to the weird parts yet. On top of that,
I'm scared.
I think it was on Rogan's podcast. Someone was talking about it, about how like if you could think of any actual porn movie,
Mhm.
they're all comedies. Like they're never really serious movies. If it usually like because now people just watch sex scenes, but if you find actual porn movies where there's an attempt at a story, it's almost always comical. Even the parodies of like things like Shaving Ryan's Privates, Edward Penis Hands, they're all
The Devil
comedies.
Wears Nada.
Is that it? Is that
Yeah, the
that's a
Devil
thing?
Wears Nana.
But they're all comedies. They're all comedies.
True.
I don't know what it is. Porn always chooses that route. That's why it's always if the guy comes in, is like, your delivery of milk is here.
Right.
It's always like
UPS guy or whatever.
Yeah.
Or delivering pizza,
Mhm.
something. Yeah. All right. So I understand that.
pizza
but
with extra meat. Like it's always shit like that.
jerking off when you're laughing is kind of hard.
Yeah. Especially because if you don't know where it's gonna go, you don't want your mouth open.
Right. True. I don't know. Do you just watch it for fun? I mean, I'm sure Cliff watched the
I've only watched
vagina in the neck and try to.
I'm not sure if he watched it before he watched it with us or after, but I personally only watch this with other people. I watch it with like friends because I think it's hilarious.
Well, the other thing too is it's actually really weird. Is when I was younger, maybe
I had a vagina on my neck.
Right, I used to, but right before high school, it would be funny because people would be like, "Yo, check this out," and like would show me. I don't want to watch porn with you.
No, it's
unless
weird.
It's funny.
You're like,
You know
this is
what I
the
mean?
part of the podcast where I want you to shut it off.
Yeah.
This is me coming out and saying, please stop watching porn with me.
No, but I can laugh to this. I don't want some dude sitting next to me like
It's always weird. It's always an older guy for me now. Like I have like my dad's one. I mean, he has a bad head injury, but he has a friend who like I constantly get like it's just a chick like topless or like fingering herself. I'm like, why are you sending me this?
yeah.
Like, I don't want to get horny because you wanted me to get horny. That's fucking weird.
Like it would be weird. Like in this sense, like in the comedy is cool because I can laugh to it. But like if you're like, yo,
Someone's
check
like,
this
"You wanna
out,
get hard with me?"
and you're just sitting there like,
You guys want to get hard together?
I'm like,
We're just sitting here at Walmart. Why don't we just
fuck?
get hard together in the parking lot?
yeah, exactly.
That is weird. People are fucking weird, man.
How long is that video? The vagina one?
Well, we can go back to it in a second.
Jesus.
But it's 14 minutes long. We're 4 minutes in. I'm more upset by the ads. The ads are what are really upsetting me.
Yeah, I noticed that. But what I want to know
I'm going to
is
start
like,
skipping through now anyway, because now it's going to be more of an actual porn. Like they already did the setup, so
right.
most of the talking's over. So I'll start skipping through it so we can see the fun stuff. But it gets weirder because once the actual sexual stuff starts going
Does
down,
like he do surgery on it, or does he just fuck it?
that is surgery.
Okay.
I'll show you. Let me get a sip of water here, and
Mm-hmm.
my cotton mouth is horrible. All right. I fucking hate the ads. This is where it starts to get weird.
Doctor, that feels so good.
Oh shit.
This is amazing, Tanner. Your clitoris is fully engorging with blood.
When I see this, you
And
have
the
to
response is
like
incredible.
know that a woman had her legs spread and they put a wig
Can
on
you
it.
feel me rubbing your clit?
It's like nothing I've ever felt before.
How does she not accidentally finger herself when she like, washes her hair?
I don't know. I kind of question this guy's.
This guy's amazing because he looks like someone that I've seen in like other comedies, but he's a porn star. I guess I've never seen him in any other porn either, but because now he just starts like eating out the back of her neck, slobber all over it.
So wait,
Now he's fingering it.
she literally just found out that she had a vagina in her neck.
Yep, because he told her.
She didn't one day like do her hair and then realize that there's a fucking.
That's what I'm saying. Like anytime she like washes her hair, don't you think she'd like come?
You would, yeah,
Like,
you would think.
Johnny can take a penis.
I want to see if your vagina can take a penis. Is what you just
Try
said.
that.
Absolutely.
Would you like to try?
Cock right now.
I'd love cock right now.
Would you stand up?
What?
I'm gonna need a little stimulation to get that started.
I'm gonna need a little
Play
stimulation.
doctor.
Hey, can you get me erect real quick?
Now it's just a lot of her sucking his dick. All right, here we go.
Oh yeah?
So bad.
Don't be scared.
Oh no. What the fuck?
Fuck, that's right.
Who fantasizes about this?
I don't care. I'm glad it exists.
What the
Do you
fuck?
see this?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good skull you got.
That's good skull you got.
Oh, God, straight.
I mean, he never took his
Okay.
clothes off. Like, really.
No.
Yeah.
She did. She got completely fucking naked.
For the vagina on the back of her neck.
Oh, God, that feels good.
This is
Yeah.
What in the fuck? This is incredible.
It feels fucking good.
listen to what he says.
Oh, that's fucking disturbing.
Oh, that's fucking disturbing.
Oh my god.
And then I think it just comes in her face. And that's basically the end of it, I think.
He was already there though.
Yeah.
He was.
Will I have a string
His
hanging out
member
the back of
was
my neck?
out of her face. I don't know.
This part is pretty good. I forgot about the ending because usually people don't make it this far in my podcast.
Uh-huh.
So, doctor, when I get my period, will I have a string hanging out of the back of my neck?
That's a very good question, Tanner.
What in the fuck?
Are you glad that you did my podcast now?
Huh?
So, you glad that you did my podcast?
Oh yeah. I'm actually more surprised that. Do you think Cliff jerked off to that?
I hope so.
If he did, I mean, to each their own.
I couldn't imagine.
I thought that was
I enjoy it for the different reasons, I suppose.
right.
My favorite part, though, is when it comes out of her mouth and like the look on his face. Like that must have been like the funnest day at his job. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, you check someone out for, I mean, they could have any medical situation going on. It's just like, I have a vagina chilling on my neck. You didn't see that before?
we should see if a penis will fit in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like every good doctor would.
Let me rub it down a little bit and
I need some stimulation first. Why don't you blow me a bit so I could fucking neck?
yeah. I need to be erect.
Let's see if I got any other fun videos for you. Otherwise, how's the quarantine been for you?
Not too bad. I mean, I don't like being home. I
Yeah.
like to go out, and the mask situation is, it's whatever. I get it.
I don't like it.
Do you have a problem wearing a mask?
Well, that's actually why I shaved my beard. Because the mask basically fits around here, so now it'll just touch my skin. But before, I was getting I had an ingrown hair over here because it rubs my beard into my skin, so it's fucking me up like that. And
yeah,
I work at Home Depot and I do deliveries, so I'm doing I'll pick up lumber and stuff sometimes. So some of it's heavy lifting, and I start to get tired and I can't breathe because I have this fucking mask.
Yeah,
I mean, we're allowed to take it off for certain things.
True.
I take it off most of the time I can. So
it just kind of became the norm to wear masks and whatnot.
I'm not a fan of that.
But the one thing that's really bothering me is the fact that a lot of these stores close early. You know what I mean?
8 o'clock, even
8 o'clock.
Because Walmart closes.
Nope.
And I'll get out doing something. I'm like, oh, I'd like to grab a beer, and everything's shut down. Can't do anything.
True. Yeah.
And then Comedy, doing that, I have to always do it outside now. So
concerts.
Yeah. Well,
Man.
I mean, the one show I did a few weeks ago in Parksville, New York, they do bands too. So it's a comedy and then a band and then comedy and then a band. And I was going to do one this last weekend, but because they're outside, it's weather permitted, and there was thunderstorms, so we had to cancel the show. But that one I was actually hosting, and we were going to have 4 or 5 bands, and some of them I think were more the one I did before. It was more like folk style and stuff like that. This other one was going to be more electric, so I think the one guy's band did metal and stuff like that. So they have a different variety of things that they're doing. So it's kind of cool, but it's really hard to find places that are doing that.
They're actually doing Metallica's doing it. They're doing that
drive-in theaters.
All right, so they're going to record everything in a different place, and then you just drive in.
That's what they're doing? I thought they were actually going to be there and play.
No, I didn't think so.
I know somebody else.
I thought that they were doing everything. So like, if they knew that they had a New York day coming up or whatever, that they would just be like, "What's up, New York?" But they're in Sacramento.
Oh, they might
recording
be.
it, and then you just
somebody
pull
else. Somebody else was going to do it to where I think it was more live, but it was going to project onto the screens. So then you go there and he's wherever he is, like in his house, and he basically projects it onto drive-in theaters live.
Oh, so it's like a Zoom concert.
Yeah, but I think I thought Metallica was going to be going. I didn't look into it at all though. I just knew somebody was going to go, and he didn't really specify. But
those tickets are really expensive too.
Metallica tickets are always expensive. So
I know.
They'll put their logo on a literal dog turd and be like, "Hey, it's $1,000." People are like, "Oh, fucking Metallica. I guess I'll buy it."
And then you get tagged on Facebook. It's like, "You want to go halves on it?" I'm like, "No."
But it's a good dog turd.
Yeah, I'll split it in half, and then you can have some, and I'll have some, whatever. But
dog turds.
Yeah, I just I miss the concerts and performing live, things like that. I mean, I know you do your comedy thing. Yeah. How's that affected you?
Well, like I said, like everything's outside, so it's all weather permitted, and it's weird too with laughs.
Mm-hmm.
When you're outside, even if you get a good crowd to laugh and there's nothing overhead,
mm-hmm.
it's like it kind of gets lost in the atmosphere. Whereas if you're inside, the laugh will actually bounce off the ceiling and like hit you directly, so you could feel it more. So it just adds like an extra weird dynamic. It's easier for people outside to start kind of doing their own thing as well. Like if they're inside and stuck watching the show, they focus more on it. Whereas if they're outside and people are walking around, like the one that's like a patio show, it's another open mic I do at this place called Tiff's in Morris Plains, New Jersey. It's on a patio and they have an overhead thing now. So it's getting more and more. That's my favorite mic right now. But it's on the patio and there's a sidewalk right behind it. So sometimes people walk by or there's people across the street and cars go by.
Yeah, and they can kind of like see what's going on. And
or like sometimes like people walk by talking or, obnoxious cars will go by and like rev their engine or honk their horn just to be dicks. And like, it's like right in the middle of a punchline. You're like, oh, there goes that joke.
Yeah.
Yep. I had a guy. Well, I didn't have a guy, but we were this is actually even before the quarantine. They did, it was an outdoor mic at this pizza place in Jersey. That's fine. And, a guy was doing a joke and literally like right at his punchline, a Harley came around the corner and went blah, 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 like over his entire punchline. So we all heard the full setup and then right at the punchline, it just got fucking destroyed.
God.
And he's like, let me do it again. And he does it again. And like, obviously it's not going to hit as funny.
You know what that reminds me of? On South Park. Do you remember with the motorcycle guys?
Yeah.
Like, why are they not paying attention to us? And you're like, oh, and then they end up coming out with like tambourines and all this crazy shit. Like, we just need to be louder.
So yeah, they're I'll screen share it. This is basically what you were saying.
Now,
if it plays or not, but I probably can't even play without getting pulled off YouTube. But
they're not there though.
No, so there's
why the
somewhere
fuck would
else.
I spend so much money?
Yeah, that's like just a recording them playing live. Yeah, you're right. That's crazy.
Like you just kind of like wouldn't you just stream it at your house?
At that point, yeah. Why wouldn't
in
you
your bed?
Yeah. Why would you go out to a drive-in just to watch that?
Right.
Oh, that's weird. Because I know Bert Kreischer, he was going around and doing actual drive-in shows. Like he was performing at the drive-in.
Yeah.
I think the Chainsmokers or something, another band, they were doing it too. Because they got in trouble. Someone was trying to sue them because people got out of their cars and they all started like dancing and shit. So they were people were trying to get them in trouble for not social distancing correctly.
I mean, how are you actually gonna
it's not their fault people got out of their cars. They didn't say, hey, get out of your cars and hug.
Yeah, I mean, how are you actually gonna enforce the rules of don't get out of the car? You know what I mean? People they tailgate and they drink beer and shit. I mean,
we're at a point where people are starting to support totalitarianism and fascism.
Yeah.
Like at the point they want people. I mean, what's the guy? I always forget his name because I hate him anyway. But the dude in California, the LA mayor or whatever, he was saying like, snitches used to get stitches, now they get rewards, and he was like offering people money to turn in people who like were having parties and not social distancing.
Yeah.
And then now they're cutting off the power and water to houses that are having parties. Like they have like drones and shit.
Oh yeah, yeah.
and they'll cut your power and water, things that people need to survive.
Yeah,
They'll cut that so you don't party.
that does not surprise me at all. It's
Everyone's
just-
leaving California, dude. It's a shithole.
I mean, the way I think about this whole situation is I thought this was going to be resolved months ago. Like I thought like maybe in the first month that
I had a
COVID
feeling
like
this was gonna
started
happen.
that, oh, this will all be done at a certain time. We're on like fucking 4 months.
Yeah,
now.
something like that. 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
March, I think it started.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we're 5 months in,
It's just crazy because I don't.
6 months in.
Yeah.
We're almost 6 months in, I think.
Yeah.
That's
and
crazy.
Like I said, I thought that this would come to an end like somewhat soon.
I had a
Like
feeling
as soon as it was initiated, but God, months.
it's kind of over in other places. If you look at red states, it's really just blue states that it's not over in.
Mhm.
And then some people will hear that and say, "Oh, well, the virus is still killing people," but
Yeah.
not really.
I'm not sure if like after election that all
I
of a
think it's
sudden
going
this
to
will
go
start.
away.
Yeah.
Everyone's pretty sure, unless Trump wins. Then they
Mhm.
might keep trying to push it, but blue states can only push it so far before they're ruined because it's already at the point where New York is fucked and California is fucked. Those are the two biggest blue states,
True.
and everyone's leaving to go to Texas and South Dakota, which are red states. I mean, when you look at it, I don't really like Trump personally, but when you look at the fact that he was telling like the middle of the country basically that he was going to help them out, people keep saying that he's not helping them, but then when you look at it, where are people moving to? Texas, South Dakota, which are middle of the country. So people are leaving California and New York, which is where everyone went and where all the money was, and they're all starting to go to Texas and South Dakota and Utah and Colorado. They're moving inland. So I mean, the two biggest blue states are really hurting right now. Businesses are leaving. New York is fucked, dude. Which really sucks for me because
But I thought New York was getting better.
people say that, but the cops aren't doing anything. People are getting shot and killed. Like this guy Tim Pool, he's a comedian. He was just there recently. He said it's nice, like nicer now than it was in a lot of ways. But he's like the crime is bad. You know, he's like you will get shot and stabbed, but otherwise it's cool. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's still New York, but I mean, business wise, a lot of people are leaving. I'm not sure what comedy's going to look like there because social distancing can't happen in New York. It's impossible. So unless Cuomo and other people decide to finally open up and stop pushing an agenda about this shit, then they're gonna screw themselves because no one wants to deal with it. I mean, my friend lives right outside of Dallas. He said, I mean, people can wear a mask if they choose, and he said like a lot of people do. So you see a lot of masks. He's like, but otherwise it's almost like normal there. He said, like, you know, people go shopping, people go to the movies, you can do all those things.
It's pretty normal here. Just always pop on the mask and go in, and
that's
they're gonna close at 8. Like that's pretty much like that's the norm.
I'm not sure they have that in Texas. I think they might still.
Well, Texas, I don't know about, but I know New York is, and Pennsylvania is the same thing.
The other thing with New York and stuff is that you can't go to like the movies. There's a lot of things that are still closed. Like restaurants are still weird. In California, you still can't get your hair cut. They won't let you go to a barber shop.
No shit.
I mean, and it's weird because when you look at like the travel bans and stuff, it literally, if you just look at it objectively, it's basically red states aren't allowed into blue states. Because me and my wife, I'm not going to say her name on the podcast, I guess, but we were going to go to Dallas to visit because I want to move there. And I've been trying to move there, but I need to get her on board. So she wants to visit it first. Understandable. We were going to book the flight because we had an Airbnb that we were going to go to. And then we looked, and the travel ban is if we go there, when we come back, we have to quarantine for 14 days. And like they keep track of you.
I did hear that.
They keep track of you too. Like they'll call you and shit. And like it's weird. But it's only if you go from red states to blue states. They don't do it with like other blue states.
Well, who calls you?
I can't remember. Somebody, because my dad's friends, they went to Florida a couple of times, and they drive now. Because when you drive, no one really monitors.
True.
But when you fly, they have all your ticket information and your phone number from that. And I forgot
you
who
get
he
a call
said
from
was
the
calling,
government, and they're just hey, what are you doing?
It was like an agency that they were calling and like
Really?
asking. It's like they were quarantining and stuff.
I was going to say like DOT, but that really wouldn't make too much sense.
I'm not sure exactly which organization it was. But he said that they were calling and stuff. And maybe, I mean, for all I know, it could be the airline if they're responsible for it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But when you look at like the bans like New York, it's like Florida and Texas and shit like that can't fly here without quarantine, but I think California and stuff can. So it's like, why can they but not the other? That doesn't make any sense. Either you should have a ban on travel or you shouldn't. But their ban on travel is only for red states. And they say it's because they opened up and they spread the virus more, but California and New York had some of the worst cases towards the second wave. So
Yeah.
it doesn't seem like it's really about that. It seems more like it's literally about just trying to hurt the red states, but the red states are doing fine. It's almost like, I don't know. It's weird, man, because Biden is a horrible pick. Kamala's a horrible pick. The blue states are almost like destroying themselves economically in an attempt to ruin the country, but it's really just pushing things towards the red states. So it's, I don't know. It's almost like they're trying to get Trump elected.
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
not sure.
hey, listen, I'm not big into politics or anything like that. I just kind of find it ironic that people from the Northeast, meaning New Jersey, Pennsylvania, New York, were so fed up with having to wear a mask and all the social distancing. They go into the South to get away from everything, and they're like, oh, it's great here. We don't have to wear masks. There's no social distancing. Well, guess what? All of a sudden, now COVID is affecting Florida and, North Carolina, South Carolina. I'm like,
I think Florida and all that's pretty good still.
is Florida?
Pretty sure they're doing fine. I think
the Carolinas got fucked.
I think everyone's really getting fucked because when they talk about it in the news, they just say like the cases are spiking, but it's not really people dying.
Yeah, no deaths.
Yeah,
just cases.
The death rate has gone down and the cases have gone up.
I mean, your fucking neighbor could have COVID, and as long as they take care of themselves and do whatever, they'll be done in what, 2 weeks,
something like that. But I mean, the death rate was below 1% already, and then the recent data that the CDC put out like 2 or 3 days ago, they said that not all of the deaths, but I think 6% of the deaths that they said, COVID was the only thing listed. The other ones that had they had like the flu, they had chronic respiratory
they had
problems,
underlying like
lots of different ones. So,
right.
I mean, I think it's like only 6% of the deaths already listed were strictly COVID.
Yeah.
So when you strip that down, it's like, I think it's 0.029%. So not even a quarter of a percent.
Yeah. So someone with like hypertension or even fucking diabetes.
Like, diabetes, you're more susceptible, I think.
Yeah, pretty much. So
respiratory issues, smoking, overweight. I mean, a lot of the stuff that listed were just people who are already unhealthy. So it's just basically if you're just in bad shape or if you already have like a respiratory disease. But I mean, it does kill some people, but I don't think it's anywhere near enough to shut everything down. I mean, it's less people than car accidents, and people still drive cars every day.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just been weird because it's like the new norm. You know what I mean? You play in bands, I play in bands. I want to play out and do shows and stuff like that, but it's just become.
Well, now it's like you feel like a Jew in the Holocaust. You're like hiding and trying to like do shit underground. Like the one spot they do comedy shows. Like it's like every I think Saturday they do one, and they have pretty decent shows, and they only have a certain amount of people. Like they have a certain capacity, and they do it outside, and they cut off by 10 because for some reason. There's a curfew with COVID, even though I don't know why. It doesn't make sense to me. Like you can only be out till 10, but they cut the show off at 10. And I guess like not the last show, but I think the show before that, they said it was like 9:45, 9:50, and a couple squad cars pulled up with cops, and they were just like standing. Like I said, it's like a patio setup. They were on the sidewalk, just like staring and like watching the whole time. Like and then. Like the second 10 o'clock was getting close. It was like right before 10, like 9:58 or something. They were like tell them like, wrap it up. And then like trying to like rush people to their cars afterwards. So like the cops would just show up and like harassing you to get the
I
fuck
would
out
not
of
be
places.
surprised if those police officers had like AR-15s or like, you got to get the fuck out of here.
I don't think
this is the new norm. Okay. So we have to wrap everything up here. So I'm going to show up with my firearm and tell you to fucking leave. Because dude, that's just between COVID and cops killing
black people.
Well, I didn't say that, but I mean, like
just
like
people in general,
innocent. Yeah, you know what I mean. So it's weird.
Life is
As
weird
much
in
as I
general.
want to stay home and do nothing, like it sounds like a good idea. Like if you were working every single day, you work 5 days a week, 40 hours, whatever. And someone's like, hey, there's going to be this thing where you have to sit home and do fucking nothing all the time. You would think that's great.
Well,
But
I was
once it was
stay-at-home-
introduced, I feel like people are like, this sucks.
Well, I was a stay-at-home dad for a while, and it sounded like a cool idea. And then it wasn't the worst, but I couldn't get anything done anyway because I had all these projects I wanted to do. You know, comedy was being affected by my last job and stuff like that, and I couldn't do bands, and I couldn't mix, and I had no time. Then when I was home all the time, the idea that I could just get up whenever for the most part and I didn't have to do anything, it made it way easier to procrastinate. So I still didn't get anything done.
Yeah.
And then I was
Yeah.
just depressed because I had no meaning in life. And so now I don't have to work. Like we're still financially at a point where I don't need to, but it's definitely nice. Actually, I'm kind of at the point now I got like a second car. I kind of do have to, but it's not, I could work like anywhere and be fine.
Yeah.
But I feel better because now like I have to, when I'm not at work, I know I have to get things done then or I won't get them done.
Yeah.
Whereas if you don't have a job, you're like, oh, I could just do it later. And you just don't ever do it.
And then all of a sudden, the thing that you were supposed to work on like a week ago, it just grows and grows. Hey, remember that thing you had to do a week ago? It's been about 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Well,
and you just always push everything back because you have that mentality that I can always do it later.
Yeah, it's procrastinating.
Yeah.
Like my like the music channel I have on YouTube, Cerberus Studios, for anybody listening, if you want to check it out, do like gear reviews and stuff. I didn't put out, I don't think, any videos, or maybe one video when I was a stay-at-home dad. Since I've been at Home Depot, I've put out 8 videos. I've been at Home Depot for 2 months. So
Wow.
it's like, or maybe almost 3 now. So it's like, it's not. I think some people are fine with staying at home and they have the motivation. I need to have something that makes me get up on certain days.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'm not good at self-motivating. I have to have something that like makes where I need to get something done in the time I do have off.
Yeah.
But you know
what's really funny? I'm going to sound really fucked up right now.
That's fine.
But it's so funny when I obviously see this on Facebook a lot where people who work in like healthcare, anything where you have to be there, even during COVID, you really have to change your fucking profile picture filter to say, I can't stay home. I'm important.
Oh, the what's it called? Essential worker.
Yeah.
I can't chose to work.
I can't stay home. I'm homeless. Well, yeah, you don't have a home. You know what I mean? Like, I just never really like.
Well, people
are
just
you
like
trying to rub it in?
Yeah, people are always just looking for something to feel important. That's why any of those Facebook filters are annoying. Like, anytime Pride Month comes over, everyone's shit becomes a rainbow flag. Or
True, yeah.
With the Black Lives Matter thing, everyone just had like everything was black for a while. Oh, then you get the guys who have like the blue flag or the blue stripe going through the flag as their profile image.
Oh, the thin blue line.
Yeah, people just like to put themselves into a movement and make themselves feel important because they don't really have anything going on.
True.
I notice most people I talk to online, when you break down what their life really is, like if I'm getting like any kind of debate or something on Facebook, you look at their Facebook and like some people I know them already in real life, and you break down their life and they really just they go to work. They're usually in a marriage that doesn't seem too fantastic, and they just seem miserable, and they don't really do anything with their lives. They don't do anything but work and go home and then bitch on Facebook. So they don't have any real purpose unless they really like their job. They have no real purpose. That's why I think I like to do things like bands and comedy because I like to create something to where I have something to look at and go, I did that at least.
Yeah.
So it's like I have something, I have some sort of worth.
You have something to reflect on.
Yeah, and I can leave
like you actually did something
that other people can listen to and
mean something to you or to other people instead of reminding people like, hey, I sit around and do nothing.
Yeah, hey, I exist. You see my rainbow flag picture?
Exactly. Like I'll just change my filter on Facebook that says if I had an AR-15, I'd eliminate all pedophiles, but I don't. So here's my photo.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
The pedophile thing's weird because like I obviously don't like them. I have 2 kids.
No.
It's just a weird situation because I would love to be the guy that gets to beat the fuck out of them.
Yeah.
But then like I'd go to jail. And so like I don't do it. And then there's a lot of people now like posting a bunch of shit about it. And there's this kid, I don't know if you know him. I'm not gonna say his name, I guess that's probably fucked up. But
No.
he was in a band, Abandoned Interstate. I'll say his band name, his old band name, if you remember them at all. It's older, it's like a poppy thing. He posted something like look out, elite pedophiles, the dumbest kids we went to high school with are hot on your trail. And it's like, I understand what you're saying. Like, a lot of dumb people are like, I hate pedophiles, blah, blah. But, like, they're at least trying to do something positive. And that's a good thing that I feel like everyone should be able to get behind. But then he'll do the same thing. It'll just be about, like, Trump or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I commented, he posted something about Trump, like, a day or two after he posted that. And it was something like, Trump's doing this. Something about, like, Russia probably. And he's going to have to go to jail, blah, blah, blah. So I commented on it, and I go, look out, Trump. The most pompous kids we went to high school with are hot on your trail. And it's the same exact concept. It's just when he does it, it's supposed to be acceptable. So it kind of comes down to the same shit. Like, people don't feel meaning, because I know him personally, and I know that he just goes to work and he sits at home, maybe hangs out with some people that have the same ideology as him. But he's not doing any music projects or anything anymore.
It just sounds like, honestly, too much time on someone's hands.
That's the other issue is right now. Everyone's always home.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're restricted of your hours weekly and you're doing 20-something hours a week, and you come home and all you do is sit around on Facebook. I don't really try to – I get bored.
Mm-hmm.
I really get bored, but I'm not trying to, like, change people's minds on anything. I'm just like, hey, this is what it is.
I'll argue with people, but I got to the point now where – I try not to argue. It's just hard sometimes because I feed into it, I guess. But I just share things I think or think are funny on Facebook. But I don't go to other people's pages and comment. If you post whatever you post, that's fine. Unless I think it's so outlandish that I have to say something. Just because things like certain things, when there's facts that are literally laid out there and people are just blatantly ignoring them and saying something, I feel the need to say something. That way some people who read their post are like, oh, that's what happened. I like to put something like, or links to like the actual shit. So it's like, no, that's not how it actually happened. He's just biased. Like do you know anything about the Kenosha shooting?
Was that the one with the 17-year-old?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who were saying like he went there to kill people. He showed up with a gun and blah, blah, blah. But when you actually look at the events of the day, and they also, like, the big thing they keep saying is like he crossed state lines. You crossed state lines to come to my house just now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we live in the tri-state area.
Yeah.
Where he lives 30 minutes from Kenosha, and he works in Kenosha, but he lives in the other state. So it's like me, when I work at Home Depot, that's in PA. I live in Jersey. So it's literally almost the same distance, too. So he went to work that morning. He's a lifeguard. And then, he didn't bring a gun. So he didn't bring the gun across state lines, and he didn't go there for that reason. He went to work that morning. After work, he was like, I'm going to help clean up after the protests and the riots. So he was like cleaning shit up. And that night, he was like, I'll stick around because I've been here all day anyway, and I'll just see if anyone needs help. Like, there's like videos where he's talking about like I don't think he's like a legit EMS, but he was going to try to like provide aid to people.
Right,
he had water, I think, on him.
I did actually see the video, the first video. I don't know if it was another protester or whatever, but was filming him, and he's just with his AR, and he's like, oh, he's
like, I'm just here to help out. Yeah. Because then the first shooting, because then a lot of people are sharing the one where he shoots the guy with the skateboard. That's the second event.
He was a skater boy.
Mm-hmm. That's what I like. The skater died. You ever see that one?
No.
It's the guy like holding his chest and it says like skater died PS2 or something like that.
No.
There's a lot of memes that came out of this.
I saw the skater boy one.
Yeah, there's a lot.
You had one that was really funny. You actually caught the one dude in the
far. I didn't
far
catch
corner.
it. Someone else posted it, so I stole that meme. But yeah, it's if anybody watches Your Mom's House or anything like that, they talk about how it's Bert Kreischer, because that picture of the guy sucking a dick, I think it's from like a frat party, and they were saying it's this comic Bert Kreischer on another podcast, and then someone took that and they photoshopped it into the Kenosha thing.
Gotcha.
And then I love that one though, because like every time I see people arguing, I'm like, it's clearly self-defense, and I post that. And people immediately get mad without even looking at it. Like, oh, you don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. Like, you didn't even look at the picture, because it's like, it doesn't prove anything. It just shows a guy sucking a dick in the background. But when people post that part of it, where he shoots the two people. That's the second event, and they always go. And people will say, like, it's self-defense, whatever. And then other people will say, well, that's after they were trying to do a citizen's arrest because he already shot somebody. It's like, okay, but that's also disingenuous, because if you watch the videos from the first one, he's at a car dealership that they're trying to like set on fire, and he's telling them to leave or some shit like that. Then they chase him. So he's running from them. And the guy, they thought it was a Molotov or a brick at first. He throws it at the kid. Turns out it was a plastic bag with something in it. They haven't confirmed what was in it yet. At least I haven't seen any confirmation on it. But he throws it at him. And then he eventually turns around and shoots. Because, like, I mean, if you're running from a crowd full of people and they start throwing shit at you, I think anybody I know would be threatened. Like, you'd feel threatened. So then he shoots the guy. That guy he shoots in the head. And some people try to help him. Like, that's going to work. And he walks over and he calls the cops immediately. He goes, I just shot someone. I'm coming to you. So he did like the right thing.
Right.
Because people were also mad that the cops didn't like shoot him when they saw him with the gun. It's like, well, they're not supposed to shoot you just because they see you with a gun. Especially if the whole point in these riots and protests is that you want police to stop shooting people. Why, when someone walks up, is your first thing like, why didn't they shoot him? Because you're telling them not to do that.
Yeah.
You don't want them to shoot people. That's the point of this, isn't it? So he also had called them, and they knew him because he was friendly with the precinct. So when he walked up, he also had his hands up, and he had previously called them. So that's why they didn't shoot him. And then the second event, when people say, like, well, they were just trying to arrest him, like, whatever. He was already defending himself to begin with. And then somebody punched him in the back of the head. He tripped. Someone tried to stomp on his head, and then he got hit with a skateboard, and then he shot. So, and then he brought a gun there because he wanted to shoot people. He had an AR-15. I'm sure he had more rounds in the chamber, and he only shot 3 people who were attacking him.
True. Yeah.
So he could have shot way more people.
But he didn't.
No.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
If he wanted to kill people, he could have killed more people.
I mean, we're not fucking talking about Columbine here. It's not like he just showed up and he had a mission to kill people. He wanted to actually save people, protect people, and that's a little bit different.
He even said he was there to help protesters.
Yeah, all right, so you didn't shoot him because he had a gun on him? Why didn't you shoot him? Police officers carry guns all the time. So does that mean that I'm okay to go start shooting at cops just because I see a pistol on their side?
You're supposed to be able to have a gun. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
I mean, not to mention everyone.
Or someone walking down the street. Oh, you know what's funny? Actually, I will reflect on this one. The couple that came out. You remember?
They took their guns away.
Did they?
The state came in. They took their guns away, and they were getting charged with like a misdemeanor or something.
They came out. They weren't even. They didn't like.
Her gun was like this.
Like literally just pointing like this, and the dude came out and all fingers on the triggers for both of those pistols. Well, the pistol and the AR, but it literally came out like, what the fuck is this? But they took them away.
Yeah, they took their guns away.
Yeah.
Which I also disagree with. I mean, if you're on someone's property and they come out with their guns, I mean, if they're on their own property with their own guns, I don't understand what they do wrong.
Yeah, true.
They look stupid. They looked like idiots, but they didn't do anything wrong. And plus, I could also understand if you have the means to protect yourself and a mob full of people show up at your house chanting and shit, and like you keep seeing cities get burnt to the fucking ground, then maybe you'd see that outside your house and go, that's not fucking good. Maybe I should grab a gun.
Yeah.
Maybe if a crowd full of people are screaming outside of my house and the city's on fire, I should be aware and maybe kind of scared.
Yeah.
I feel like that's weird to assume that you wouldn't feel threatened by that. It's like crazy to me.
True.
Like, it's like most people, when they keep trying to say, like, why do you feel threatened? For any of these cases, like, have you ever even had like just a couple people yelling at you? Like, I've been in groups like where like shit's just gone bad at like concerts and shit, and just being next to something where you see like 12 people yelling at like 3 other people, the hair on my neck stands up. I'm like, okay, this is gonna get violent. Like, you could like, it's like cornering an animal.
Yeah.
If you corner a dog and start scaring the shit out of it and it attacks you, people blame the person cornering the dog. But for some reason, when a person does it to a person, they blame the person for reacting.
True.
It's like, what do you do?
I've been in those situations before where you see something going down, and I don't know if you've ever felt this way, but like, should I do something about that? Like, should I go over and either A, say something about it, or if the argument gets louder and louder and it looks like it's going to get like into a physical confrontation, if you ever just like, well, I'm getting into a fight tonight,
I've
but it
had
has
that,
nothing to do with you.
I-
You literally just watch it go down.
Everyone has an impulse to be involved in those things. That's why mob mentality exists and why it always ramps up into violence when you get big groups of people together for that shit. Because once one person starts getting violent, it's like a virus. Like everyone else around them just starts getting violent too, and they just start smashing shit. That's why mob fights happen. I mean, if you just look at all the riots, they all start from peaceful protests, and then like 2 or 3 people show up who suck. They start fucking shit up. Other people turn around, they see that happen, they go, "Oh, I'm gonna join," and then it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
And it's just, I mean, I think Rogan, I bring him up a lot in this podcast because I watch his like constantly, but he's brought up multiple times how like if you think about the people who exist today, it's all from people who survived wars. Like everyone's lineage has severe violence in it at some point. So people naturally evolve with violence around them. So it's natural for when we see violence, when you think about how war used to be like done, it was swords and shit, like right up in each other's faces. So when shit starts going down around you, everyone gets this like fight kind of thing going on. Some people like to flee from it, but a lot of people, they feed right into it.
Well, some people actually, I feel like they kind of almost look for it.
Oh, yeah, a lot of
You know
people
what I
do,
mean?
yeah.
Like you can overhear something going on, and that just gives like Macho Man his, time to come in and say, "I'm going to fix this." It's like, no, he just got mad at his girlfriend. Like they're fine, but some people just like are
They want to be the guy. Yeah.
Like they're just like, I'm ready to go. And that's why I kind of get weird with people who conceal carry is you're just walking around with this pistol. How many times are you going to use it? It's like, well, when can I use this? Oh, now's a good reason. Then you you get yourself in trouble. I understand.
Some people,
if you're in a situation where you have to really use your pistol, then that's fine. But
some people are
I
stupid.
feel like sometimes like it looks really cool to wear, and you're just like you're tuning into other people's shit. Now you're pulling out like, well, I guess I'm going to use this now. You know what I mean?
Well, that's why I prefer conceal over open carry, is because if I was to, which I think is actually, I can't remember. I think that one might even be easier to get. I'm not sure.
Depends on what state you're
Yeah,
in. Pennsylvania, all you need is a pulse.
And then you can get a conceal or open, because I know, I'm not sure.
Open, you can do open in Pennsylvania. It's concealed is where you have to go through the sheriff's department, but that takes all of Jesus Christ, less than a day.
Okay, well, I like that better, because then if you're walking around with it out, it's almost like, especially if it's not like, it's not a normal thing to see people walking around.
Someone
so
walking.
You're doing it to. I mean, if you can't get conceal and you want to be safe all the time, I get it. But if you're walking around specifically just because like you can, then it's almost like you're just trying to like flex on somebody, and like it's going to add tension to a situation, which is why I prefer the concealed. Like if you are really responsible with your gun and you do want to have it around because you feel safer and you just want to be prepared if something happens, which I also understand that. Having it concealed, you're not announcing it to everyone, so you're not making everyone like, oh, there's a fucking gun in the room. If you just have it and you keep your mouth shut and you don't ever touch it, you just got it. That's like, it's not adding to the tension of any situation.
Yeah.
But
and that's the right way to go about it, is you want to use it for your protection. But sometimes I feel like people may get trigger happy.
Well, there's people at
say
parties
like,
that I've been told,
I have a gun on. It's like, yo, you didn't have to tell me that. And first of all, everything that's going on over here does not, cause a threat where you need to dispatch someone. But it's good to have it. Sometimes I think that people get kind of,
they get trigger happy.
I have a gun. Like,
yeah, well, I mean, there's people that I know of that when they had like parties and stuff, when they got drunk, they'd pull out guns and they'd point at
I
people.
had that.
I know. I didn't want to like say too much about it, but I was like, I know of people who do shit like that, and it's just like that's the kind of stuff like I'm like absolutely not into.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, I always like when I did anything with guns when I was younger. I'm gonna start trying to shoot with our buddy Thaddeus some more, so I get more used to them, because it's been a while since I've really shot guns, so I'm not as comfortable with them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want that. I want to be able to handle myself and not feel intimidated by a piece of machinery. But I mean, I always grew up being taught, like, don't ever put your finger on the trigger.
Nope.
unless you go to shoot. And don't ever point a gun at anybody ever.
Yo, Thaddeus and I were at the gun shop one day, and this guy was checking out this AR style rifle, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the gun shop owner gave him the rifle, and he's checking out. He's looking down the barrel of the gun, like
I've seen people do that before, but like
the fuck taught you how to do that? Like, what are you doing?
I just want to see
And
what my
we're
last
just
moment of life looks like.
We're literally just standing in the background, and this guy's like, "Yeah, it seems pretty nice." I'm like, "Dude, did you just see what?" He's like, "Yeah, I saw it."
You ever seen Idiocracy?
No.
Oh, well, there's a part. He's like the Secretary of Defense, but he's played by the guy who actually made the movie, the director.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got a shotgun, and like he's just like, and then like looks at the camera. He's like looking down the barrel, like it's like, but they're supposed to be really stupid. So like, their example in the movie of what something stupid would be is looking down the barrel of a fucking gun.
Yeah, it's insane. I mean, some people just shouldn't have guns.
Yeah,
I mean, but isn't it like kind of common sense?
it should
where
be.
you
But
shouldn't have your finger on the fucking trigger, or at least I don't know. Like I felt like that's just
it should be.
common
But
sense.
I mean, there's a lot of things I think are common sense that a lot of people don't seem to. It's just my cat. That a lot of people don't seem to understand with a lot of things. I mean, there's still people who like smoke in the car with their kids. And like,
yeah.
there's people who will smoke at a gas station while they're pumping their own gas. I mean, common sense isn't as common as you'd think anymore.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
But at the same time, I feel like there's like sort of a either a disclaimer or an excuse. Like, I can do this because of this.
People are very privileged now in that sense. They like to think that everyone's above everything. Everyone thinks that they're super important. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, you can literally scoop up a dog and go anywhere with it, and they're like, excuse me, no pets allowed. That's my service dog.
Well,
and then all of a sudden, everything's fine. Like, you can literally do that. Like, I could take your cat and go into ShopRite and say, it's my service cat.
ShopRite, they normally kick people out unless they have a vest. So my neighbor has 2 Rottweilers. He tried to bring his dog into ShopRite, and they were like, is that a service dog? And he's like, yeah. And like, do you have like the paperwork or like the vest? And he's like, no. And they're like, then you have to get the dog out of the store. So he wasn't allowed to bring his dog, and he was mad. So he went on Craigslist or eBay, found and bought a service dog vest, and then he puts it on his Rottweiler and brings it in the store, and it just barks at the black butcher. It's like, who's my friend? He's like, yeah, he just comes in there and has this dog bark at me for like 10 minutes straight.
So you can literally, you could just go on Craigslist or eBay or Amazon or Etsy, buy a vest, put it on, and everyone is supposed to do this.
Home Depot, I think, it just allows you to bring your dog in general. But
I think I've seen them.
There's dogs in there all
before.
the time.
Yeah.
But I think it's like a company saying is that they just allow it. But some people, it's like, do you not think? Because like there's a guy who's in there like the other day. He had 2 dogs with him, and they were fucking barking at everybody and like trying to eat shit like off the fucking shelf. It's like, what are you doing? If your dog doesn't know how to act in public, why are you bringing it in a fucking superstore? Like, you bring it in a giant warehouse type store.
Yeah.
Your dog eats shit, and your dog like barks at people. And like some people bring it their tiny little dogs, and they fucking whine and bark at everything. He's like, I don't know, why is he so scared? I'm like, oh, get the fucking dog out of here. It's a rat. It's not even a dog. Get it out of my store.
But
so gross.
They're so privileged. Like, I feel like you can almost do a lot of things that wouldn't be normal. Like, you would look at them. I mean, you and I are normal.
Normal.
I guess.
I mean, I just made you watch a porn with a vagina on a chick's neck, but yeah, we're normal.
Yeah, I guess. But these people just get away with doing stupid shit, and there's always like a tard card. Have you ever heard of a tard card?
No, but I like the terminology.
Okay. It's basically, all right, you watch Family Guy, right?
Well, I did, but yeah.
Well, do you remember when Peter claimed he was retarded, and he was just going into the stalls and opening up the doors and goes, sorry, I'm retarded. Tard card. You could literally get a card that says, I'm stupid and I have no idea what I'm doing. And you get away with a lot of shit.
I want to buy that card. If they don't exist, they're going to be my first piece of merchandise.
Oh my God. Yeah, literally just
I'm gonna make
You could go into a store and just break everything. People are like, "What are you doing?" And you just hold up the card like this. And like,
Sorry, I'm
he's
retarded.
retarded.
This is a good spot to end the podcast. For anybody still listening, thanks for checking it out. Bye.
Bye.